The Strategic Capital Investment Board. Well, there is £400 million earmarked for SCIF over the next 3 years. And, I dare say, the list of, urgent priorities that should be considered will be considerable from just about every minister in government, health, education, transport, and so forth. But I do think that, housing right now, and the broader economic performance of Wales, given what's going on, has to be addressed. And I do hope that that recommendation there on ensuring that there is housing access to strategic capital investment is taken forward, particularly given that social housing grant, despite the 11% uplift, is still around about 100 million a year. SCIF at 400 million over 3 is a very, very significant fund indeed. We need to move forward on that. I think it's recommendation 42. This is where I start being accused of being an anorak, when you can actually quote one of the 42 recommendations of Essex. But I can remember recommendation 42 because it's the last one, but it's not the least significant. It talks about access for housing into economic development funding as well, developing that role. Community Housing Cymru have put a lot of resources into trying to carry that forward over the next few months. Surely, given that we've got one of the biggest Objective 1 areas and programmes in the whole of the United Kingdom, we need to look intelligently at the way in which this sector, which spends 90 million a year on regeneration, can increase and intensify the impact that we have on regenerating physical communities, on the impact that we can have on reducing carbon footprint, the way in which we can train and educate disadvantaged groups. We need to carry that forward, and we're working with the West Wales European Centre to do that over the next few months. And Neville Davis, the head from there, is somebody who's got a great track record in working on the structural funds. Brilliant that we're going to have a regulatory board that does look at the macro picture. We've had enough of micromanagement. We need macro frameworks that will up everybody's game. Delighted as well that there's that support in there for rural housing enablers. The 4 pilots have been a huge success, but also that there should be perhaps more activity in that area in urban and also valleys communities. And I think I've got to mention the fact that there is a recommendation there for the payment of board members. For those of you in local government, forgive me for this, but I think this is an issue on the housing association side that will create passion. There will be very, very diverse and disparate views on this. But I think, given the overall package that exists within Essex and the need for us to move forward, I would ask that we have that debate. It's a debate that the sector has been denied in the past, and that we keep our eye on the main prize, which is serving communities. I went to the Eisteddfod this year. Ydy'r peiriannau cyfieithu gweithio? Dwi eisiau siarad Gymraeg rwan. So I want to speak in Welsh now. I'd be grateful if you could see if your translation facilities are working. Fi eisiau i'r Eisteddfod eleni, ddaren ni cael ddadl ar dyfodol polisi tai fforddiadwy yn yr Eisteddfod. Dydy hynny cael ei gydeirio gan yr archesgol Barry Morgan. Ac oedd o'n ddadl da. Ac fel arfer, pan dwi'n mynd i'r Eisteddfod, dwi'n prynu lol, neu dim lol, pan maen nhw'n galw fel hyn o bryd. Hwn ydy y peth agosas gen y Cymru Cymraeg i privatised. Mae'n llawn scandal, llawn scandal. Ac dwi'n prynu fo bob blwyddyn mwyn dal i fyny gyda'r scandal, sy'n mynd honest. Ond eleni, ges i sioc enfawr, oherwydd nes i troi at tudalen 11 ac oedd Essex yn efo. Ond dim oherwydd scandal, ond oherwydd mae sôn amdano yr adroddiad yn lol. A yn fan hyn, mae nhw'n cael ar cymuned. Mae nhw'n dweud, mae aran a cymuned di bod yn dawel iawn eleni. Wel, nawr da ni'n gwybod pam. Mae'r gwaith ar ben nesa i cymuned, chwilio am lad arall i ddatrys ei problemau nhw. A mae'n quotio. Recently, Cymuned has not been the only voice calling for attention to the housing problems in rural Wales. With high-profile reports such as Essex's report, it is obvious that there is no need for energetic campaigning to raise awareness of the problem. Our work here is done. Wel, efallai mae'r gwaith ymgyrchu wedi dod I ben, ond mae'n amlwg mae'r gwaith o weithredu yr amcanion yna ar fin cychwyn, a mae rhaid ni sicrhau, da ni'n henwedig dwi'n meddwl o sector ni, da ni gofyn amdan yr adolygiad, mae rhaid ni wneud yn gorau I sicrhau bod yr adolygiad yna yn llwyddiant. A dyna pan dwi'n mor ddiolchgar amdan y ffordd mae'r Llywodraeth y Cynulliad yn sôn amdan gweithio ar y cred mwyn sicrhau da ni'n symud ymlaen a gweithredu yr argymhellion. Mae gennym ni 5 person sy'n mynd I fod yn cymeryd rhan yn y grwpio gwaith yn ystod y misoedd nesaf. A nhw Andrew Lycett ar perfformiad, cyllid Peter Maggs, prif weithredwr Sir Benfro, Amanda Davies ar y gwasgfa credyd, Tamsin Sturley sy'n mynd I gweithio ar y rheoliadau, Anne Hinchy sy'n mynd I wneud y gwaith yn gweithio efo Steve Thomas pan mae'n dod I dilifro'r rhaglen SHG. Dwi'n dymuno'r gorau dyn nhw. Hefyd mae gennym ni grŵp sy'n fwy na barod I cefnogi gwaith nhw. Dwi'n gobeithio yn ystod y prawn yma, newch chi cymeryd cyfle I siarad efo'r 5 person yna dwi wedi bod yn sôn amdan. Ac gawn ni sicrhau bod yna rhwydweithio yn digwydd mwyn gweld llwyddiant yn symud yn ymlaen. This is going to be a challenge for us all, and rightly so. When Sue Essex launched the report, she pointed out that WAG doesn't build a single house. They don't, but we need them. We need them for the social housing grant, we need them for the regulatory function, and we do, in the housing association movement, really appreciate the role and functions, including the strategic function that local government has. I promise that from the community housing Cymru side and from our membership, we will engage in this process in good faith, and none of us, not a single one, I promise, will even try to put lipstick on the face of the pig.